What's good, everybody? Thank you for stopping by to visit the channel for this upcoming bowl game preview. If you want to stay updated in the world of college football, if you haven't done so already, make sure you click that subscribe button, click that notification bell, and make sure you select all so you won't miss another video. This matchup is between the Penn State Nittany Lions versus a Group of 5 representative, the Memphis Tigers. The Nittany Lions are the at-large representative of the Big Ten, while Memphis is the highest-ranked Group of 5 team after winning their conference championship. Let's take a look at both teams' resumes to see what separates the two of them. The Nittany Lions faced a solid schedule. 6 teams against the F+ top 50 with 2 wins against the top 25. Among the New Year's 6 participants, the Nittany Lions faced the second best schedule among defensive SP+ teams with an average rating of 21, which is the equivalent of Minnesota, which would explain their up and down season offensively. Their offensive schedule is extremely top heavy. They face 4 top 25 offensive SP+ units, but they still face the 8th ranked offensive schedule out of the 12 New Year's 6 teams. Solid comparisons for Memphis except for Minnesota's rush offense, since Memphis's rush offense is ranked 16 spots ahead of the Golden Gophers. Despite their ranking, the Nittany Lion rush defense held Minnesota to 120 yards rushing on 3 yards per carry. The Indiana pass offense shows up here, and it is rated 9 spots below Memphis's passing attack. The Hoosiers had the second best passing performance against Penn State this year, throwing for 371 yards on 9 yards per pass attempt, which is not a glowing comparison going up against a team like Memphis. Now, the offensive outlook looks a bit rosy and the game plan is running the football. The Penn rush defense shows up here, and Penn State had a solid game against them, running for 167 yards on 5.67 yards per carry. Michigan's passing defense shows up here, and while Sean Clifford threw for 3 touchdown passes, he also threw for less than 200 yards at a 56% completion rate. The representative of the AAC had a fantastic season. Unfortunately for them, they faced 0 teams ranked in the F+ top 25, but they had 6 games against teams ranked in the top 50 and also defeated their southern neighbor Ole Miss early in the year. Now, based off of their opponent F+ schedule, Memphis had a better overall opponent than Clemson did, but the Tigers had the worst SP+ schedule among the New Year's 6 teams. I'm sorry, Memphis, not Clemson, but Memphis. Now, it should be noted that Memphis's offensive slate is ranked 11th out of the 12 teams in the New Year's 6, and the defensive schedule is ranked 10th out of the 12 teams as well. Memphis was able to get solid comparisons for Penn State on their schedule. The Tigers faced Cincinnati twice, and the Bearcats had some solid success against the Tiger defense, rushing for 399 yards at 4.75 yards per carry in those 2 games. The outlook through the air doesn't look great for Memphis, as Tulsa's passing offense had a day against the Tiger secondary, throwing for 306 yards at 11.8 yards per pass attempt. Now, the Tulsa rush defense shows up again here, and they are ranked slightly ahead of Penn State's solid rush defense. The Tigers had an outstanding day on the ground, running for 192 yards on 5.8 yards per carry. The outlook through the air doesn't bode too well for Penn State's secondary, as Brady White threw for 249 yards at 10.8 yards per pass attempt against UL Monroe. So as we review the tail of the tape of advanced metrics, the advanced metrics show a push on the major metrics of F+ and SP+. Penn State's offense seemed to have an advantage against the Memphis defense. Now, Vegas has the spread currently at 7 points, and SP+ gives the Nittany Lions a 60% win probability. This is quite interesting. Penn State's offensive SP+ rating has the nod over Memphis's defensive SP+ rating, but when you take a deeper dive, it looks like it's the complete opposite. There is a ton of Memphis blue here. The Tigers are ranked 34th in adjusted defensive success rate, and they are ranked 33rd in defensive yards per play against FBS competition. Now, the Tigers aren't horrible on defense, but they haven't faced great offenses either, so it's extremely difficult to get a read on them, especially since they are a Group of 5 team. It was said earlier that Penn State faced the second best defensive schedule among the New Year's 6 teams, and when you take a look at their offensive numbers, the only metrics they stand out in is the fact that they have allowed 14.8% of their runs to be stopped at or behind the line of scrimmage. The Memphis defense isn't disruptive by any means, as they have stopped 21% of their opponents' rushes at or behind the line of scrimmage, but if they get you on an obvious 3rd and long, their defense is ranked 39th in defensive adjusted sack rate, and Sean Clifford has had a tendency of holding the ball on too long at times, so that could be problematic. It looks like this matchup is going to tell me that Penn State is going to try to make Memphis a bit one-dimensional. The Nittany Lion rush defense allows a salty 69% of their opponent's rush averages. The Memphis rushing attack averages close to 5 yards per carry, but a closer look at that shows their offensive line doesn't get a good push up front, evidenced by their offensive adjusted line yardage ranking of 100. That tells me that running back Kenneth Gainwell is responsible for their 14th ranked adjusted rush offense. Gainwell averages 6.42 yards per carry, and he is going to be tested by this Nittany Lion front front that is 10th in defensive adjusted line yardage and has stopped 25% of their opponent's carries out or behind the line of scrimmage. Now, a major concern here is Penn State's adjusted pass defense against the Tiger passing offense. Brady White has no issue stretching the field vertically against any secondary, and if the Nittany Lion defense is caught out of alignment, the Memphis offense can score from anywhere on the field. Now, in the keys of the game for Penn State, they can't give Memphis any type of confidence early in the game. We have seen it with UCF Auburn, Boise State Oklahoma, Utah and Alabama, and so on. You can't give a group of 5 team any confidence early in the game, because they will ride that wave and they will not come down from it. For Memphis, they have to use the pass to set up the run. Memphis is not going to line up and run the football on Penn State on standard downs. That would be insane. So I would look for Memphis to throw on first and second down just to catch Penn State off balance. The computer model has Penn State winning the game by a score of 28-20. The Nittany Lions allow 49% of their opponent's scoring average, and they have scored 126 of what their opponents allow. Memphis allows 83% of their opponent's scoring average, and they have scored 135% above what their opponents typically allow. I think this game is going to go 2 different ways. Either Memphis is going to come out guns blazing like their hair is on fire, or Penn State is going to make this game ugly and try to make Memphis earn every yard. Bowl games are difficult to predict due to the fact that you're trying to compare conferences and they're not created equal. Memphis' offense is an elite offense based off of the advanced metrics, but on the flip side, we can't glean much from their defensive schedule. The only Power 5 team they faced was Ole Miss, and Ole Miss is not known for their defense this year, and they held them to 15 points. Now, teams do get better week to week, so that may have been an aberration. I don't have a ton of faith in Penn State's offense, and the last team they faced with a similar offensive and defensive SP Plus rating, they lost to Minnesota, who play a similar style of Memphis. So I do believe Penn State fans, they're going to be really surprised at the overall team speed Memphis has in this game. Even though Memphis' star tight end is going to be out for this game with an infection to his knee, I still wouldn't touch this game with a 39.5-foot pole here. And I have zero confidence in this pick. But I'm going to go with Penn State here. I think their defensive line has to control the line of scrimmage. I think they'll do a better job of it than Memphis will, even though Memphis' defense is not necessarily elite, but I think they're, quick enough to give them some issues. I'm going to go with Penn State here to the score of 23-20. And this is where I sign off on this game preview. Let me know what your thoughts are in the game in the comment section below. Give me your score prediction and also tell me why your respective team is going to win the game. I hope you enjoyed the video. All I ask is that you give the video a like, and if you love college football as much as I do, hit that subscribe button if you want to stay updated with the latest previews and the occasional highlights. Thank you again for watching, and thank you for visiting the channel.